In this lecture, we are going to learn and write a code for receiving a character using UART. So till now, in all the hands-on experiments, we understood how to transmit a single character or a string in interrupt as well as in polling mode, right? So in this lecture, our main aim is to receive a character using UART. So how are we going to do that? So our input for receiving the character, basically our UART is communication is happening between our microcontroller and our PC. So till now we sent the data from the microcontroller to the PC, and as the PC as the receiver end, right? And on the receiver end, we were used to analyze our data or look at the output on the teraterm screen, right? So this time what we are going to do, we are going to send the data from the PC to the our microcontroller board, right? But where will we see the data? Okay, so we have to make such a mechanism that our data is displayed on the teraterm screen itself. So we are going to reflect whatever data the microcontroller receives back to the PC to the teraterm. So basically I am going to give the input from my PC, that is from my keyboard. I am going to type something and it will come to our board, and whatever will come to our board, that will be transmitted back to that PC and it will be reflected on the teraterm. So in this way we are going to go with this experiment. Okay. Okay, so what is the first thing that we need to do here? So first of all, we need to our first of all our UART initialization is done already. So now what we need to do, we need to write a function for receiving the data from UART. Okay, so functions for that are already available. So you need to go to this hall library, right? So if you go to the hall library, then you can see there is a function named hall UART receive. And what are the arguments that it takes? So the first argument that it takes is the UART handler that we have already configured in our initialization. Then the next is data buffer. So whatever data you will receive, that will be stored in this variable. So basically you have to it is a pointer to the data buffer. So basically you have to specify the size of this. Okay. Then the third one is the amount of data that is to be received. Okay. So how many bytes are you going to receive? So that you have to mention here. And the final is timeout. So timeout is basically it is the time duration in which it will receive the data. That is our microcontroller will receive the data. Suppose I keep the timeout as 1. So within 1 second I have to send 10 bytes of character. If I put here as 10, if my data buffer is of 10 bytes, and if my timeout is of 1 second, so in 1 second I have to transmit all the 10 bytes. Okay, so that is difficult because in 1 second it is difficult for me to type 10 characters on my keyboard. So we will keep it as 10 seconds here. So and the timeout you provide here will be in milliseconds. So basically 10,000 milliseconds you have to provide here. Okay. Now you have received the data and that data is stored in this your data buffer. Now you have to send the same data on your PC and display it on the teraterm screen. So for that you have another function by the name hall UART transmit. So all the parameters are the same here, right? So let us come back here and let us edit our program. So first one was hall UART receive, right? And inside hall UART receive, uh, you have to give the handler, then you have to give the data buffer. Now here we have to edit this. Okay, so I have to set the array basically. So whatever size I need to the data to be received. So if I want to receive the data of 10 bytes suppose, so I will keep the array size as 10 here. Okay. Okay, then you don't have to keep this. Then our data size is 10 and our timeout duration is 10 seconds, so 10,000. Okay. Okay, now let us copy this and paste it in the next line. And the same is copied here, except I have to make this as transmit. Okay, and I don't need to put this much of uh, timeout. I will just keep 5 milliseconds. It is not that relevant. Okay, so our function is ready, right? So what will happen if I execute this program, that uh, if you type a single character, now we have kept the data buffer as 10, so it will only transmit the data buffer when it is full. Okay, so if I just type one character on my keyboard, it won't display the data. So you need to type 10 characters, then only it will display the data on the teraterm. Okay, so let us save it, build our program. Now the program is built. Now let us open our flashing utility, close the old text file, open the new one, connect, program and verify, and disconnect. Okay, so now open your teraterm, select your port, and select the baud rate at 115200. Okay, so now as soon as I press my reset button, so within 10 seconds I have to type in 10 characters on my keyboard. Okay, so I will type edutech123 and it should display that there. So I'm pressing the reset button now and I'm typing the data. So as you can see, edutech123 is displayed on your teraterm screen. So this is the data that I typed from my keyboard, and it went to the microcontroller, and the microcontroller reflected back the same data on the teraterm screen. Okay, so this is how you receive the data on your microcontroller from your PC.